Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Manx Radio Newscast. It's Ben here talking to you on the Friday morning of practice week, and we are now well and truly into TT 2024. And with further qualifying and 10 races to look forward to over the next week or so, all eyes on the weather. And changeable, I think, is the word that will dominate over the next few days. We wanted to find out exactly how things are looking for you. So on Manx Radio Breakfast this morning, to get all the detail about today, Friday, and indeed the weekend and into race week as well, we were joined on the programme by senior forecaster at Ronaldsway Met Office, Kirsty Pendlebury.
It started off quite hazy this morning as well after really good visibility at the end of yesterday and overnight. The visibility has dropped. It's become quite hazy. We got a bit of low cloud developing over those hills as well, as you've mentioned. It has gradually been sort of lifting on the webcams. It's looking an awful lot better than it did when I came in at 7 o'clock this morning. There is still some cloud around though, not far off the tops of the hills. But as the morning goes on, I am expecting that cloud to continue to lift and break even more, and the hazy conditions to kind of improve as well. So hopefully, an improving situation, and hopefully not going to cause too many problems as we go into the rest of the day.
So looking at the weekend then, today hopefully improving. Those dreaded words again appear in the forecast for times tomorrow and on Sunday. Hill fog, potentially an issue kind of early doors over the weekend.
Yeah, do you know what? It's a really tricky one. It's been quite changeable, as you've mentioned. At the moment, like I say, it looks like it's improving today. Going to get some good sunshine once it gradually seeing that cloud move away. Overnight tonight, there's just some indications in a couple of the forecasts that we could start to see a little bit more moisture again at low levels, which may just help create a little bit of low cloud more towards the end of the night. So I don't think it will be too much of an issue in terms of for the practicing. Hopefully, it'll probably be after that into the sort of early hours of the morning tomorrow and towards dawn tomorrow morning. But that then does leave us in a very similar situation tomorrow morning as to what we've got at the minute with that cloud over the hills. Quite typical for TT week, I suppose. So it's a case of watching to see that lift and break as the morning goes on. As I say, every indication for tomorrow that we'll be in a fairly similar setup, that it will lift and break enough that it will be fairly decent then through the remainder of the day tomorrow. But just that one thing just to keep an eye out for first thing in the morning tomorrow. And as you mentioned, for Sunday as well, it does look like on the whole actually for Sunday it's going to be quite a bit cloudier. So maybe not seeing quite as much in the way of sunshine, but it is sort of giving us a little bit of a risk as well of seeing some hill fog. And obviously as we get close to the time with that, we'll be able to firm up a little bit more with details. But things change quite quickly at the moment. So definitely worth keeping an eye on the latest forecast.
Well, let's look at next week if we can, or as far as we can anyway, because we were expecting at this point to be heading into a sort of a period of high pressure. Maybe not quite so much the case now. For next week, any thoughts on how roughly it's sort of looking?
Yeah, again, it's really difficult. I spoke to you this time last week. I said it would be a bit of a mixed bag. Came in Monday, Tuesday this week, and it looked like this area of high pressure, which is currently sat to the west and southwest of the British Isles, was going to build a ridge in across the UK, and that was going to give us some pretty settled conditions, and it looked like that was going to continue into next week. But at the moment now, it looks like there's a bit of a battlefield across the UK next week. That high pressure maybe sort of moves away, unfortunately, from the southwest a little bit more, and then we end up with low pressure sort of to the northeast of the UK, and it does just allow some weather fronts to move through. So it is looking now like we are likely to start to see maybe some cloudy conditions and some outbreaks of rain, possibly for Monday and for Tuesday as well. And once the rain's cleared out of the way later on Tuesday, we end up in sort of a more sort of unsettled, showery northwesterly airflow for Wednesday. So looking really quite different to how it did about 3 or 4 days ago, but then probably more in tune to what it looked like this time last week. So in terms of confidence, we're still not very high at the moment. We're just sort of keeping an eye on that, and we're hoping the high pressure wins out. But at the moment, the charts are kind of implying that maybe the low pressure might. So certainly a lot to play for still, I think, for next week.
And Kirsty, just how difficult does it make it to be certain about a forecast when you have those competing pressures in such close proximity?
It's really difficult, and especially when we look at a variety of computer model data. We get quite a bit from the UK Met Office. We look at the GFS American computer model, as well as the European Centre in Reading. We look at their forecasts, and if all of them are giving you the same answer, then it helps over time to build your confidence that that's the most likely scenario and what we're going to see. But when all of them are slightly pointing in different directions or don't quite have exactly the same detail, it obviously makes it a lot more difficult for us to have any confidence and belief that that's what's going to happen. And especially, the first thing we've got to look at is has the computer models got the information right for what we've got right now? If it has, it makes it a bit easier to maybe believe what it will be like in 12 hours or 24 hours or 3 days time. But when the detail's sometimes not quite right at the start, obviously adds another element of uncertainty for us. So yeah, it's proven to be quite a challenging week for the team. Hopefully so far that you think that we've done reasonably well. We did have a few issues with showers over the last couple of days, but mainly for the far south of the island, actually. And I think, we were really lucky we got away with it a couple of nights ago, because the south of the island definitely got wet, but I think the rest of the circuit managed to stay dry. So yeah, really small scale changes as well can make a massive difference across such a small island.
Thank you for making it to the end of the Little Manx Radio newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you. Thank you for making it to the end of the Manx Radio newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.